So I woke up today, got a Hinge message asking to go for a coffee walk. So I was excited, but I was also a little bit um, wondering how I would find the time to film a video. But luckily, I found the time because they canceled. So back to coding, but I am gonna go for a coffee walk still by myself. Yeah, we love the dating apps. Maybe I'll make a dating app that works for me. No, all right. Anyway, thank you so much for the nice comments. Though this is it's really made me really inspired to like keep making these videos, and also just like makes me feel all warm and fuzzy in my tum tum. So I appreciate that. Anyway, let's go for a coffee walk. Alone.
I can see the color draining from your face. Like a chameleon, you change. For now, I'll leave you be. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, all your thoughts will rearrange. Join me. I've heard it all.
I have like this intense imposter syndrome about making these videos. I always feel like I don't know enough to like give my opinion about anything. So oftentimes I just won't make videos, but in an effort to stick with my consistency, I do have a video idea right now. I couldn't like get myself to actually work on the compiler today. I kind of just loafed around. It's a Saturday. I went on a little coffee walk and then ate and just rotted in my bed and watched YouTube videos for the past few hours instead of being productive. But that's actually it's okay. It's normal. I always have this like really intense like need in me to always be productive, and then I get mad at myself when I'm not productive, which is ironic because that's literally why I'm making this video. But I know that's not super healthy, so I'm trying to work on that while also I guess not working on it. But anyway, but there is one thing that I was kind of thinking about for a video idea. I was gonna make this more of a like PowerPoint style video, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna yap. I wrote down some things that helped me get better as a programmer, and I'm hoping they could help someone else who's watching this. One of the main things that helps me a ton when it comes to improving myself as a programmer is to stop doing tutorials, stop reading books, stop watching endless videos. If you're like brand new, obviously you should do that stuff. But after you gain like a little bit of experience, know the syntax and stuff, it's important to actually start actually building things, even if it's something simple. If it's a to-do list app, go ahead and do that. Well, when I was in college, one of the things that got me really into programming is the first project where I actually built something with a GUI. We built basically just a fake Microsoft Paint, and that was like the first time I had like coded something that wasn't just a command line tool, doing something trivial. So that was like a big change. I feel like doing kind of boring things where you don't see things on the screen, or just like copy and pasting someone's code, or just like typing it out, is good for learning, but it kind of gets boring. It gets monotonous. And then you don't have the opportunity to make mistakes, figure things out on your own. A lot of times that just means Googling, but that's okay. I guess now for the Zoomers is using ChatGPT. Don't use it too much. That is a little bonus tip. Try to figure stuff out yourself first. And that's why like doing a project that it could be something that exists already. It doesn't have to be an original idea. Like I made this is still a tutorial, but it was a more interesting tutorial. When I was learning Ruby on Rails, I did this tutorial that taught you how to make a Twitter clone. And then after I finished that, I ended up building an app for it was to like show off things you bought. It was called Shopping Brags. It was a little pun. But basically it was just like a CRUD app where you basically like a little social media CRUD app. CRUD is create, update, read, or create, read, update, delete app in Ruby on Rails that would allow you to upload photos and text about different items you bought, and it'll show it on a feed, basically Twitter. But I built it from my brain after doing a tutorial. So even if you're just like redoing it, a lot of times when I go through a tutorial, I will, like, you'll notice that with the programming language series on my channel, I did read through the first part of crafting interpreters and followed along, but then I ended up building my own language with the syntax that I made up. Even though it's like similar stuff, it helps to just like actually apply the knowledge you're gaining from the book or the tutorial you're reading. Another thing that goes along those lines is reinvent the wheel. A lot of older developers, when I was like first learning, would constantly tell me not to reinvent the wheel. And while that is good advice for your job, it's not good advice for learning. If you want to know how a wheel works, you have to actually build one. An example of how I'm doing that is when I first tried starting learning OpenGL, I like just could not wrap my head around it. I didn't understand like the math, and like I'm not bad at math. I have a degree in math, but it was still like confusing, and I hadn't like actually applied math in a while. So I actually did a more low-level tutorial where I built a ray tracer from scratch. So it kind of like taught me how 3D renderers work, even if OpenGL doesn't use ray tracing. It like helped me understand the math by actually applying it, and it allowed me to use the tool by creating a tool similar to it. So that's why reinventing the wheel is really good. And like just doing hard projects that you wouldn't normally do, like building a programming language, for example, an emulator. Even if I don't finish those tasks, it like kind of exercises my brain. It's so like it's like lifting weights. You have to put your body under stress to grow and get better. If you're constantly doing like really light weights and not increasing, you will not get stronger. The gym girlies amongst us know this as progressive overload. I try to apply that with my learning too. I take on a project that is not so much above my knowledge level that I can't do it, just like slightly above, and I try to like build on that. And each week I try to tackle something. Well, in this metaphor, I'm not actually doing that. I'm trying to. I do as I say, not as I do. but I do try to just slightly increase the difficulty of my projects over and over. And that can apply to anything in life. Another thing that another metaphor for that is, I don't know who said this, some basketball player, probably Michael Jordan or Kobe, would say practice should be harder than the game. So if you're practicing really tough projects, when you get into your interview, your programming interview, they're going to ask you to do like fizz buzz or something that's going to be easy. You can do that in your sleep because you've been doing much, much, much more difficult things in your free time, learning and improving. And then on top of that, it's important, and I kind of touched on this a little bit, it's important to build things that you're actually interested in. Like, start with the basic cliche apps that everyone does, to-do list, FizzBuzz, whatever, leak code problems, like algorithms and data structures. It's okay to do all that stuff, but it's boring. It's not fun, and you'll stop doing it after a while, and you're gonna lose the joy. I know from experience, doing a bunch of boring projects completely killed my joy of programming, killed my love of programming. Only until I started doing this channel and doing things that I don't do in my day job did I actually start enjoying programming again. And it ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're not gonna want to program, that's completely normal. Sometimes you're gonna want to program 24/7. That's also normal. My channel being an example of that, because sometimes I disappear for months, even years sometimes, but it's okay. Always try to come back, and the best way to get yourself back into it is to build something you're interested in, like the shopping brags thing that I mentioned earlier. Compilers, I've always found it interesting how programming languages actually work. That was a fun project and a difficult one. I've been learning game engine development, not on the channel, but I will make some videos about that too, and it's been really fun. And as a capital G hard art gamer myself, I've always wanted to learn how to play games. I mean, how to make games. And it's been really fun. It's been extremely challenging. I'm a person with a math degree, and the math is confusing to me. But the motivation to keep doing it is because I'm building something that I actually care about and actually would like to work on and learn how it works. And then number 5 is, this one is, I don't want to say it's not required, but I would say it's less important than the other ones, is to learn how computers work on a basic level, like how from binary abstractions build on top of each other to a high level programming language to actual software, how things work under the hood. These are very nerdy topics. Obviously, I'm biased because I have a channel covering them, but they're fun to know. And you can write more performant code at times if you know what's going on, even one level lower. If you are writing in a high level language that compiles down to assembly, if you can understand the assembly that your compiler is outputting, you can better optimize that code. And understanding how memory works on a low level gives you a lot of gains. You can do things like make sure things are allocated on the stack rather than the heap, for example, because stuff on the stack is gonna be faster because it's more available to the CPU faster. Understanding how CPUs work, how they interact with memory is not something you have to know, but it helps a lot. It really does help a lot. And again, it's one of those things where it's tough and it's a little bit hard to understand, but once you get it, it's kind of just another tool in your tool belt, so to speak. And lastly, and in my opinion, the most important thing is to have hobbies that are not programming. Do other things. I don't want to seem. I know like this video is sounding very hustle culture, Gary Vaynerchuk esque, but I'm really a big proponent of having other hobbies. I go to the gym, you've seen that in the videos. In some of my older videos, you see me knitting and crocheting. I like love to play video games. I watch YouTube videos. As I'm coding, I'm watching YouTube videos. So it's just really important to not make this your whole life and personality. Have things that pull you away, because the worst thing for your development as a programmer is getting burnt out. Like, there's nothing that will hurt your development more than getting burnt out. I'm, again, speaking from experience, getting burnt out kind of just ruins everything. And like, I feel like I could be a million times better programmer if I wasn't like constantly getting burnt out when I was younger. So I like am more cognizant of that. I'm not perfect. I still get burnt out. You never will stop getting burnt out, but is doing things to prevent it really helps and will keep you learning and growing and productive. Yeah, that's basically all I got for this video. I think I will probably be back to some vlogs, but this is a little bit fun to do a little something different. Thank you for watching. I'm Maddie.